Morning everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm croaky. I hope you can see me. The sun's actually come out today and it is weird because it rained all day yesterday. My washing basket is absolutely stuffed. As you can hear, I'm recovering from a cold. Like I think in last week's video at the end of it I did say that I was getting sick. And I definitely am. I have a little bit of a cough, a blocked nose and a sore throat. In pregnancy you can't really take anything and I'm a diabetic, so it's hard to find any medication. So sorry about the croak. Also, I don't know what this video is going to be this week. I have completely gotten ready for baby. Like I'm ready for her to be here. So I thought this week we'll just take it easy and just do a realistic week with me. There are some things I want to finish before she gets here, namely finish editing. I think I have two like biggish videos to edit and then I have one to still film, but it's an easy one. It's just like a 30 minutes of reading with me. So like a productivity sprint type of thing. And then yeah, two big videos that I need to edit. One I've already started, so that should be easy enough. That's all I have to really do. And the rest of the time I actually just want to chill and enjoy my time. I'm 35 weeks and 3 days today. I'm exhausted. I'm constantly tired. I slept mostly through the night last night. I'm weeing a lot more during the night. So maybe 3 or 4 times now, whereas before it was 1 or 2. So 3 or 4 times, maybe even 5. I do fall asleep quite easily afterwards, but my husband is a night owl. So sometimes when I go wee, I'll have like a chat with him and then go back to sleep. So this morning I actually slept until I want to say 8 a.m. and I went to bed at like 11, like clockwork. I'm just exhausted. I'm also super swollen. Don't know if you can see me at all, but my lips feel like really thick and like big, but everything's just swollen. My hands are more swollen, my feet are more swollen, my belly's more swollen. I'll show you my bump later. She's definitely dropped, I think. Like I can feel her heavier on my pelvis and my bladder, but I'm not entirely sure. I have my appointment supposed to be this Friday, but my doctor has something on, so I'm going the following week Monday. So I'm hoping she comes around then at 36 weeks. I'm really hoping for not to get an induction. I also will talk later in this video about my birth plan. There is no real birth plan, but I'll just talk you guys through it. I also want to do a segment about things that I will and won't be doing with as a first-time mom or as first-time parents that I think my husband and I will like to enforce. I think that might be a fun little segment, but otherwise it's just going to be a fun little vlog trying to unwind and get ready for baby. I know in your third trimester they just tell you to relax, and now that most of my nesting has done or is done, I can just chill and enjoy my time being pregnant, doing my activities. So that is kind of what this video is going to be. Long intro once again, but I'm going to start off my morning. This morning, as you saw, I made a decaf coffee. I love drip coffee, but I'm sometimes just so impatient. But I made it really weak this morning. But I'm going to have that and I'm going to read for an hour and then I will go and get some washing on. But the book I'm reading, not that this is my reading channel, is It Should Have Been You by Andrea Mara. And I'm really enjoying it. But because I'm not filming any sort of like reading vlog, I'm finding myself not reaching for my book. So I'm having to force myself to read like an hour or 2 a day. So I try to do an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening, depending what's going on. But this is the book that I'm reading now. So I can usually read about between 30 and 40 pages in an hour. So I'm going to start this already halfway through, but I'm going to read for an hour and then yeah, I'll take you guys along with me this week. Hopefully there's some fun things happening because I'm pretty sure I just want to chill. So we'll be editing, maybe some gaming, maybe a puzzle. Let's see what this week holds. Hello everyone. So the last I checked in with you guys was on Monday. Today's Thursday, and I'm sure you'll be able to see by the B-roll that something unfortunate happened. Not so unfortunate, it was just one of those things. But anyway, on Sunday afternoon I started to feel a little bit weird, like quite spacey, like I was outside my body watching, and like I don't know, it was just a weird feeling, and I thought maybe it's just because I was really tired. So I just put everything down, had a nap, chilled a little bit, and then I was fine. And then later on in the evening, around about bedtime, I felt it again. I was I don't know, everything just seemed like it slowed down, and I was busy reading, and I was like, this is so weird, but I could just be tired. So I went to sleep, and I was like, you know what, I'll feel better afterwards. Anyway, I ended up waking up on Monday morning, and I spoke to you guys. I introed this video and I read for a little bit, and while I was reading and after my breakfast, I started to feel weird again. Like my eyes kind of felt like they were crossing over, and again it felt like this weird delay in my brain, and I was like, okay, something's not right. We have a blood pressure machine here, but I didn't know where to find it, so I was looking for it, panicked a little bit, started crying because I just felt so weird. And then I took my blood pressure, and it was quite high. It was like 155 over 90 something, I think. And then I was like, okay, well that's high, so I did it again, and it came down to like 153 over 100, and it was just all over the board. Anyway, so I did my husband's blood pressure, and his was normal, so I knew mine was a little bit high. So I called my mom and asked her if she could take me down to my GP just to get an accurate reading and see if actually my blood pressure was as high as it was saying it was. And then my GP was like, even with a false reading like that, I would suggest you just go to your obstetrician. So I ended up calling my obstetrician, went through to his office. Like they made me lie down and just chill because obviously I was super panicked, and that can push your blood pressure up as well. I had no other symptoms except that spacey feeling in my head. I didn't really have a headache or anything like that. Anyway, in the office, and I just had to lie down for like 10 minutes. They did my blood pressure again, and it was like I think 140 something over like 93 or something like that, and it was still quite high. So they made me sit for another 15 minutes, and then I did it again, still high. Then I went in to see the doctor, and we did an ultrasound and just checked her out, and she was fine. She's doing great. It was just me that felt a little bit weird. So he did it again, and was like 140 something again. So we ended up being admitted to hospital to try and see if we can get everything back to normal. I came home, got all my stuff, went back to hospital at about, I want to say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, got checked in and whatever, and my blood pressure was still quite high. So he started me on a blood pressure tablet, had that, and it went down. It came back to like 133, I think, over 85 or something. And then I slept, and then when I woke up the next morning, it was 148 again. Or was it 150? It was around 148, 150, around there. So we upped my dosage. So now I'm on 3 blood pressure tablets a day. I stayed in hospital for 2 nights, just doing nothing. He wanted me to just completely chill and relax so that we could bring the blood pressure down. When I was released yesterday, it was 122 over 77, which is normal, especially for pregnancy. So yeah, it's come down a lot, but it was a little bit scary, obviously, because I don't know what I was doing wrong, and I don't know if it's preeclampsia, which is really scary. So that was my main concern, is having preeclampsia, but there was no protein in my urine, so there was no risk of preeclampsia. So I was really happy with that. I did have a slight headache, but obviously I'm not sleeping well. I have a cold, so it could be that, but for now we just think it's gestational hypertension, which is quite common, especially because I have diabetes and of my age. It's quite common, so he wasn't too worried, but he just didn't want me to like go super high where it can cause problems, so that's why he booked me into hospital. So yeah, that's kind of what happened this week. I was thinking I'll just end this vlog off here now because there is no vlog. Tomorrow I turn 36 weeks, which is crazy, which means I have like a week left before I am potentially induced or have a C-section. So literally just a week left, which is absolutely crazy. Well, a week and a bit. I said to you guys as well that I would speak about my birth plan. So that is kind of my birth plan. Like we'd always plan from 37 weeks to see how my cervix is, like if it's softened, if it's shortened or anything like that. We will try and do an induction, or hopefully my hope was that she'd come by like say 36 and 5 or something like that. That would be ideal. We don't know. If she doesn't come naturally, I will either be induced depending on my cervix and the state of that, or we will go in for a C-section if my cervix is still quite closed. Then I think we'll be scheduled at like 37 and 3 or 37 and 4. So she is coming early regardless, but that's as far as I can plan my birth because of the diabetes. We don't want my placenta to stop functioning, which can happen, which can also cause the hypertension. That's why I was on the monitor for her as well to see if my hypertension is affecting her, but she seems to be fine. She's grown quite a bit. I think the last time I went to see the doctor, which was my 34 weeks, she weighed 2.1 kilograms and now she's at 2.4 kilograms. So she's completely just followed her own trajectory. I can never say that word. But anyway, she's still a smaller baby, but she's still on the okay line. Like, she's not too small or anything like that. So yeah, that's kind of my birth plan. I don't want to do a cesarean. I just don't want to do with the recovery time, to be honest. I know that sounds selfish, but yeah, it takes so long to recover from that, like 6 to 8 weeks. And my husband's only here for like another 6 weeks, I want to say. So I don't want to have to be bedridden or anything like that. So I'm hoping I can still do natural. I'm eating all the dates. I'm drinking all the teas, doing all the things that you need to do to try and soften your cervix. So like I said, I thought I lost my mucus plug this week sometime, I can't remember, but I'm not entirely sure because he hasn't checked my cervix. I will go to my appointment on Monday where we'll find out, and he'll also do, I think, a membrane sweep. I'm not entirely sure, but he did say he'll do an internal examination. So hopefully that will let us know what the situation is and how we will proceed from there. And then I definitely will let you guys know. Her foot's like all the way up here now. That's all I can do with birth plan. I know that inductions are really painful though. Well, so many people say. It's not the same for everyone, obviously, but I would prefer to go naturally. But if I can't go over 38 weeks regardless because of my diabetes and also now the hypertension. So definitely will be safer for her to be induced or to have a C-section. But I know most inductions can end in an emergency C-section anyway. So I don't know if that's just what I want to try, but I think so. I think I'd rather not have any chance of a C-section. I'm just praying. Honestly, I'm praying that that won't happen for me. But anyway, that is it. This is going to be a very short video. I know, I'm sorry, but I'm supposed to be on not bed rest, but he said just to rest and do as little as possible just until I see him next week. So there would be no fun in that. I will just be on the couch or in the bed with my husband for the next few days until we've normalized. I am also super tired. It was really difficult sleeping in the hospital because I was in the maternity ward and you can hear babies crying everywhere. The first night I slept there as well, I woke up at 3:30 in the morning with someone going into active labor, and she was making the most animalistic noises, and it was like every 10 minutes, then every 5 minutes before they took it into the delivery ward. So that woke me up and I was just awake for the longest time, and I've just been so tired. So I'm trying to catch up on sleep and reading and just chilling completely because yeah, apparently my body does need it. So there would be no point in carrying on this video because that is all I'll be doing. I don't know what next week's video will be. Maybe I'll continue what I plan to do in this video and kind of have it as like my last week before baby comes. We'll see. We'll try and plan something, seeing what the doctor says on Monday. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching me. I'm sorry this video was short and not as interesting as the rest of them, although it depends on your taste. Maybe you prefer something like this. I did have more plans for this week, but unfortunately we're here now. I had a shower, washed my hair, got on some clean pajamas, about to change my bedding, make some lunch, and that's as exciting as my days are going to be until Monday at least. But yeah, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for liking and subscribing if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you all in next week's video. Hopefully it will be an exciting week. I don't know. I think my husband and I should plan a date night as well. But let me give you a little quick bump update. I don't think it looks any different. She's just all scrunched up on one side of my belly, but I'll give you a bump update, and then yeah, I'll see you all next week again. Bye guys.